Hi there, Louis here, and welcome to Acorn Hill. I am sitting right beside our David Austin rose because today I wanted to tell you about how I prune my rose. It's July, and there's a few things happening with this rose that I wanted to share with you. It also triggers the time that I do my midsummer pruning. What principles of pruning do I follow? Why do we have to prune them midsummer? The benefits of pruning roses, and so forth and so on. So let me show you what's going on here. This was the same David Austin rose that I shared with you in the spring. And look what happened to the blooms. It's desiccated from the inside. It's pretty much browned up. The petals are pretty much dead, crispy. This is not because of the sun, but because of something else. Let me show you another bloom. Now in the spring, this rose was studded with a lot of blooms. In fact, there are a lot of blooms right now in buds about to take off, but something has happened to these blooms. The leaves are showing spotting, yellowing. Let me see what else is going on the inside. So from the inside you can see they are now browned up and it has rotten from the inside. This happens during this time of the year, during midsummer, and the reason for that is this. That critter, there he is. It's called a Japanese beetle. Oop. Away. Summer is the time when these beetles start to appear, and they start decimating roses. They usually last in the south for about 6 weeks or so. So this indicates that I need to do a lot of pruning, and after I do the pruning, then the entire rose bush will flush and give another set of blooms again. But these are basically all the buds that I showed you earlier, and the ones that I have over here, they will go. The roses are not too sensitive to pruning, especially this one that I had. Now look at this. That's nature right there. I do not know what type of bugs these are, but they're taking advantage of our rose. And I guess this time of the year I'm willing to share them with these critters. It's a circle of life, and that's what's happening. And there they are. In any case, let's get cracking and I'll show you what I do pruning this rose. Now to diagnose, what we have over here is a lot of these yellowing and browning of the leaves. Japanese beetles eat the leaves, so they become skeletonized like this. There's also something going on with one of the canes of this rose. A cane is that major, a primary branch that stems all the way from the bottom of the plant, from the crown of the plant, and that gives up all these lateral branches. But this branch right here will go. The branch where this leaf is attached to will go. So let me talk to you all about my principles of pruning next. Take you to pruning. I wanted to show you what's happening also. I have my regular visitor here in the garden. There he is. Look at that. Having a staring contest with me. Again, I don't mind sharing the garden with critters. But next year what I'm going to do is I'm going to fence in. I'll do a project where I'll strategically fence in all the garden beds, preventing them from decimating my perennials, the herbaceous ones. Anyway, get back to work. Right, so before we go hacking this rose away, these are the things that I'll be using for this project. My kneeling pad, pair of gloves, got my pruners, and got my little snippers just for those little branchlets that need to be taken out, and a trug for some of the weeds. As you can see, I've been weeding this afternoon also, because along this path I have those weeds that keep growing, because over there it is, over there you'll see some of this soil, it eroded, and of course some of these weed seeds will grow. You know, they're a natural occurrence in the garden during this time, and this time of the day, when it's the afternoon, it's time for me to do a little tending and weeding and keeping with the garden. Look at that big crabgrass right there. Anyway, I'm getting distracted here, but let me talk to you about how we will, the MO that we will do for this rose. Now, the rose is a 4-year-old rose. We planted this a long time ago, about 4 years ago, and it has about 6 main canes that stem from right over there, from that crown. Now, you can see this rose is now a solid bush, and we need to provide this with a lot of space in the middle, because this center right here, there's no air that go in and out, and I think that's what happened with the previous branch that I showed you earlier. A lot of moisture, a lot of humidity, and because of that, you know, like anything, mold will grow, and there's not much drying out that goes on. So that's a solid a unit itself, compared to the knockout that's over there. You can see that that's also in all its volume and one single unit, with all the branches and the leaves that's covering the crown and all the major canes on the inside. But that can take care of its own. That's why they're called knockouts. They just continue to produce blooms. I don't know if they're really eaten out and eaten up by the Japanese beetle, but these, for some reason, these hybrid tea roses, the English kinds, they seem to really feed on them. So we gotta take care of this. Alright, let me set up my camera on a tripod and I'll show you exactly what we're talking about here. Okay, so before I set the camera up, let me just talk to you about the different types of branches that we need to get to know. And once we know all of them, then we would get a good plan of attack for this rose. That's the crown right there. Coming from the ground, you see that there are major big branches that come up. This, over there, and even this dried one, this dead one over here. All right, now that's a cane. This is called a cane. Oops, sorry, wait a minute. So this branch is what is referred to as a primary cane. That branch, even those big ones over there, you get the idea. Anything that stem off of these main branches, main canes, are called laterals, and that's a lateral right there, because it branches off directly from the main cane. That's a lateral right there. It's a little dark because we have all this foliar growth that we need to take care of. Alright, so now you know the difference between a primary cane and a lateral cane. So let's have at it. Alright. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, there it is. Pardon the lighting. I'm filming on my iPhone, so we'll do the best we can, and we'll do the proper edit. But to take all of this out, the first thing that I... Alright. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, there it is. Pardon the lighting. I'm I'm filming on my iPhone, so we'll do the best we can and we'll do the proper edit. But to take all of this out, the first thing that I do is take care of the any dead leaves, any dead branches, any sickly leaves need to come off. Look at that yellow one. That needs to come off right there. There it is. Now this is either rust or black spot, yellow spot. I'm not a rose expert, but these are the ones that I get to know about year after year. Alright, so as you can tell from what I've done, at least from this side, the side of the rose that's facing me, what I'm doing now is basically just stripping them of any leaves that cross each other, bunch up against each other. There. To get some of that air to circulate within these branches. That's only half of the rose, so I'm going to do the other half. So I'll continue to strip this off so we can definitely see all these main canes that have been covered by foliar growth along the base and toward the midsection of the plant. And I continue to strip them, reach in, not getting myself hurt by the thorns. But I'll continue to strip these leaves away, and this will give us a general idea of what the framework of the rose looks like. Alright. So, looking into the same plant from the same angle as we did all the stripping away of the leaves, then we can now see the framework of this rose. We have the main cane and all these lateral canes, those lateral canes that shoot up all over to the side, upward from these main canes. Now as they do and as they continue to grow, you can see that there are lateral canes that cross each other. They tend to go inward into the inside of the main canopy of the rose, like that one right there, that grow upward, that go into the actual bush itself. These canes are now the next type of pruning or parts of the rose that I need to take away, so that can go. And usually when I prune, I cut them maybe half an inch off of the main cane, so that when it heals, it's not gonna cause too much damage to the rose. I also try to make sure that when I cut it on a vertical, so that when the rain hits the bush, then water just runs off of it, instead of cutting it on the horizontal where water could sit on top of it, and that's what's going to rot that rose. Here's another cane that we can take away. It's coming off of this main healthy upward main cane, but that lateral is not gonna do any good because it's just going to get itself congested. And look at that, it rubs. Where is it? Right there. Sorry about this. Let me focus that up for you. This same cane that I was talking about is now rubbing against that other cane, and when they rub, get this leaf out of the way. The things that we do to make sure that we can demonstrate and inform, but when they start rubbing, that is going to cause injury to both canes, and when they rub and create friction, it could cause an opening where disease could go in. So one has to make a decision, and in this case it's an obvious one because this cane has to go, and so does the other one because it just goes inward toward the plant. So we follow that cane to the main branch, and that's where we cut it. So from here I'm going to reach in, and I'm going to just cut that just like that without hurting myself, because this bush is filled with really harsh thorns. Here's another situation where we have to cut and prune this branch that goes inward, and see how tangled they all get. This one actually is about to rub that branch. May also rub this new growth. This is basically a new cane that has sprung from the crown, which I think I'm gonna keep. So instead of getting this compromise, I'd rather just cut these two lateral canes from the main cane, just like that. Now roses are strong plants. They actually love, the more you hack them, the more they like it. So the more pruning we do, the healthier the rose gets. Now look at that rotten branch. That's another type of branch that we need to take away, diseased or dead. So that can go just like that. All right, it's getting lighter, getting a little bit airier. The branches of this rose and the actual shape of the rose. But here's another situation where we have an obvious rubbing that goes on between this cane and one of the major canes. So this, I follow this all the way to the main cane, cut it at a vertical, and there you go. Okay, so I'm taking this shot, overhead shot of the rose. You can tell that this bunch of flowers, they've been eaten up by the beetle, and this, they're all gonna go. They're good to go. It's not good at this stage of the game to keep them. Let's see if this rose has the beetle. They like lodging right on the very center of the rose. I think that's where the nectar is. That's why they go there. With rust, yellowing, and black spots, these will go. I put them in a tub, in that blue tub, and I usually discard them. I don't put them in the compost bin. I don't put them anywhere. Look at that. It's a bad leaf, and there's a lot of spores on it that could spread the virus, which again is normal for this time of the year for this rose. The glove that I'm using, this glove will go. I'll chuck it in the garbage bin so that I don't use it again and don't spread any more of that virus. But it's getting airier, it's getting lighter in shape. That's how it looks like right now. I hope you can see. I hope this makes sense with the shot, but we're working on it. We're keeping it lighter and airier and a whole lot more thinner by girth. All right, so what a difference a few snips and a few minutes make in thinning out this rose. Now you can really see the canes, the major branches of the rose that I was talking about earlier, which we couldn't see because it's been heavily covered by leaves. And so now from the top, we can really see now the extent of how this branch has rotted. I left it behind so that we can all view it clearly, how much the extent of that damage is. But right now, it's gotta go. It's an obvious thing that it's gotta go. There's a lot of things happening. There's a situation over here where you can see this is crossing with that branch. This branch is about to touch this branch. Oh, here we go. A lot of things happening there that we now need to address. So, phase one, we thin. We remove all the foliage so we can clearly see where the main branches are. Stage two is now going to be major hacking. We'll do some major Edward Scissorhands move on this bush and remove unwanted branches so we can further provide airiness, lightness, and good circulation, air circulation to happen within the center of the bush. So let's go. Here's another shot, different view, different angle, to see how much we've done to this bush. So I wanted to show you what I did. Didn't get to take a shot of it when I was cutting this dead branch, but look what happened. It's really bound to go because parts of that branch has really gotten itself tangled. It's a mess. It's got itself tangled with this main cane, a very healthy young tender cane, but look how long that cane is. This thing is gonna get choked off by this unhealthy branch, so we're just gonna pull that out altogether. It may have some flowers, this branch, but look at the extent of where this could go. It really was hugging this healthier cane, but unless we take this out, this cane, the healthy one, is not going to produce more blooms for us. So like I said, roses don't mind getting hacked off. In fact, they expect you to hack them, cut them, and prune them. So we're just doing what's best for it. We're giving it some tough love right now, but later on I'll give you an update as to how this will look, because we have cut off main parts of it. Now you can really see the entire body of the rose from the top all the way down to the ground where the mulch is located. This is what I do during the summer. I do a lot of upkeeping, but it's all worth it because in about 6 weeks this rose is going to be filled up again with good branches, good leaves, good blooms. I'll give you another update. This is Louis from the garden. I appreciate you coming over. If you like these materials, these contents that we provide, I request that you like the video, you share the video, and click on that subscribe button. This is Louis from Acorn Hill. We'll see you again on the next video. Bye-bye.